Afterlife by Hirokazu, a 1998 film about people who have died struggling to pick one memory to that they'll remember for the rest of their lives, is the worst movie I have ever seen, ever, in my entire life. Now, I need to explain to you how I discovered this film. So, I was on Letterboxd, and that's how you know this is going to be the dumbest story you've ever heard, because anyone who puts their opinion on Letterboxd is obviously not worth listening to. I put my opinion on Letterboxd. Don't fucking read my reviews. They're fucking terrible. Okay, but watch the video. So, my favorite movie is 9 Days by Edison Oda. And in the comments, in the reviews of 9 Days, I'm looking at the 1-star reviews, somebody comments how 9 Days rips off Hirokazu, specifically Afterlife. So I go and I watch Afterlife, and here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, okay, I like 9 Days. Now I'm going to watch Afterlife. You're telling me Afterlife is what birthed 9 Days? And this guy's like a good director, apparently? Okay, I'm ready for a new favorite movie. I'm ready to find a movie that I like even more than 9 Days. Here we go. I'm watching the movie. Turns out it's fucking garbage dog shit. The only similarities between 9 Days and Afterlife is the blank premise that they're in non-living Earth. Okay, I'm not going to talk about 9 Days here. That's going to be spoilers. 9 Days is a movie worth you going into blind and experiencing. I'm not going to fucking ruin a good movie, but I'm going to ruin Afterlife because that movie fucking sucks. So in Afterlife, they're dead. And now that they're dead, they have to pick one memory that they'll remember forever, and they'll forget all their other memories. That sounds like hell to me, honestly, right? If you only remember one thing, and I'm not trying to be like a pedantic, snarky idiot here, but like genuinely, you remember one thing. And let's say obviously they remember like the person outside of that context. Otherwise, if you just had a memory with a single person on a bench, that would be really bizarre. That wouldn't make any sense. But like the meaningful memory, you remember the things around it, right? But the premise is that you get to pick one memory to keep, and that's it. No matter what that memory is, if I remember that one memory for eternity, at some point that is going to turn into fucking literal torture. I am going to fucking hate any person who I'm in that memory with. I'm going to hate myself. That's going to be miserable. So first off, the movie just fails at a philosophical level because we are assigning people to torture. We are assigning people to hell, and we are acting as if we are benevolent in this process. At no point does the movie explore that theme at all. People, if you go to Letterboxd and you look at high rating reviews for Afterlife, every single one has the exact same story. They just sit there and they just wax poetically about what memory would I pick if I were in this situation to take with me. What a philosophical concept. I can't believe no one has ever thought of this before. Wow, I spent the whole movie sitting there thinking about what memory would I pick, and that helped me get through the boring movie because holy fucking God. There was an hour in and I realized the movie was never going to get better. So for about an hour, there's 22 fucking characters, mind you. There's 22, not even 22 single characters. There's 22 people whose memories we have to help them pick a memory to keep. That's what the main characters have to do. So there's 22 characters that are just memory rememberers, okay, that we have to listen to. None of them have personality. None of them can act. Apparently some of them aren't even actors, and boy, it fucking shows. They just come in and they're like, you can tell one guy is just ad-libbing because every like sentence he pauses and he's like, and then this next boring thing happened. Then the next boring thing happened, and it's like, holy fucking shit. This is why you write a script. Do not like you have 2 hours of movie here and it's so fucking boring. There's no plot into the last 15 minutes. It is an insanely, insufferably slow and boring movie. There is one redeemable thing though about the movie. One thing makes the movie okay. And actually, it's kind of funny that somebody said that Afterlife, 9 Days ripped off Afterlife. But you know what? You know what? Afterlife ripped off A Man Escaped. You want to know why? Because in A Man Escaped, there's a strong emphasis on sound and noise. Ambient noise, noise made by humans, just fucking noise. And in Afterlife, there's a strong emphasis on sound and noise. And it's great. It makes the environment feel real and alive. I think they did a phenomenal job with the sound design in this movie. There are a few parts where the sound doesn't match the action, where it's just incongruent, like where somebody is writing and the writing noises in the movie do not match when the person is writing and when the person is not writing. That's just, you just fucked up in editing, okay? You just fucked up. But otherwise, the sound design is phenomenal. That's the only good thing about the movie. So you're probably imagining like, okay, so there's like a three kind of counselors, and they're meant to like help people find the right memory to take with them. And they don't really do a good job of this. They just kind of sit there and then judge them. So there's this 13-year-old girl who dies in the movie, and she's like, oh, my favorite memory is going to Disney World. And then one of the counselors in training goes to the girl, and she's like, a lot of 13-year-old girls choose Disneyland, and it's kind of boring for me personally. So like, I think you should choose something else. And it's like, what the fuck? How dare you judge someone else's favorite memory, even if it's the same memory of other people? Sincerely, go kill yourself. Holy fuck. That is insane. I cannot believe that they're actually judging people's memories like that. Just let them pick their fucking memories, dude. How do you not have any like respect for other people? I thought this is a Japanese movie. I thought it was about maintaining harmony and shit. What the fuck? Now, mind you, later on in the film, we find out that she's actually motivated. This counselor in training is motivated because they get these memories, right? And then they try to recreate the memory for the person, and they have a screening. And then after the screening ends, supposedly you just disappear out of existence with that memory for the rest of non-existence, however that long that lasts. And so the whole movie, we're listening to these god-awful, boring interviews where nothing of interest is said, and none of the memories that any of the people talk about are interesting at all. They're the most mundane, boring shit I've ever heard. And the movie gets up to the point where all the people that we've been listening to are seated, and we're now going to see the memories that they filmed to recreate the memories that they talked about, and then the people will like disappear. And right when that's about to start, we even see them making the movies and going through the process of making the movies to screen to these people. And soon as that's about to start, the scene cuts, and then the plot of the movie actually begins. At about 1 hour and 35 minutes, the actual plot begins. So here's the actual plot. One of the characters in the movie is a complete boring loser. Imagine the most boring milquetoast salary man who has no personality, no ability to act, no ability to emote, and has nothing worth anything in his life. He's so stupid, so boring. He spends the whole movie watching tapes of his memory to try to find one memory to keep. And there's one of the counselors that is assigned to him doesn't want to work with him. And he reveals that, oh, I'm actually old as you. It's just that I died when I was young. I died in like World War fucking 1 or 2 or some shit like that. And he's like, oh, you're an old man too, but you're just young because you don't age here. Oh, I understand. Okay, whatever. Like little teaser there, okay. So yeah, he requests to not work with that guy, and then it's just not resolved. There's a tangential part of the movie where the counselor in training goes to take setting shots, and then it's just her next to this silly machine that opens up and plays music, and you can tell that they're like jungle shooting this in the city in like Tokyo or some fucking shit, because the camera is like right at the actress's thighs and it's like up at the thing, and they're trying to like not get other like people in the shot because like clearly it's like they're filming like illegally or some shit, and it just comes off as tacky and shitty. And then it's really weird because then later on she's just walking the streets and they're filming again, and clearly people are just like milling about and like they're filming like illegally, and people are just like looking at the camera and it just looks awkward and stupid. And it's just genuinely terrible. So then she goes back to the counselor group, which is like 7 fucking people, by the way, but we only really ever see like 4 of them or 5 of them. And one of the guys just says, your setting shots fucking suck, and you're fucking terrible at your job, and you suck. And then the girl is like, well, maybe if you stopped smoking, your wife wouldn't have left you or something. And then they're like, whoa, oh my God. And then later on, okay, that's not what she says. She doesn't even say anything nearly that bad. And then later on, the guy who the girl is in love with, the other counselor, he tells her that she should apologize. And it's like, okay, in the workplace, there's constructive criticism where you're saying, hey, these shots don't work for this reason. And then there's just being a dumb asshole where you're telling somebody that they fucking suck. And in the movie, she's just telling him that, or he's just telling her that she fucking sucks. And then she stands up for herself. And then the other characters are like, okay, yeah, but like, patriarchy, and like I'm a chauvinistic retard, so the woman needs to apologize in this scenario. It's like, what the fuck? I don't care if it's Japan 1998. I don't give a shit if you're in fucking Somalia, you're in fucking Iran. A dumb idea is a dumb idea regardless of the culture you're in. And that is some dumb fucking shit. So the movie gets a 0 out of 10 just for being like you just insult a coworker and then you expect to get an apology. And then the other people tell you to tell the victim of the insult to apologize to the other guy. Nah. Here's my apology. You just bring a gun, blast that motherfucker, blow that guy's head off. Anyway, so continuing on with the movie, the counselor that's working with this boring man who can't come up with a memory is actually, plot twist, the guy who was with the boring man's wife before they got together. So then he goes, it's so dumb. So like the boring man chooses a memory at old age of him and his wife. And then the counselor man goes and finds the tape of her memory that she chose when she died, which was a memory of him, but he couldn't figure that out. And then the girl's like, oh, but like, look at your military outfit. Like, obviously that was you dumbass. And he's like, oh, I guess maybe, I don't know, doop-a-doop-a-doo, I'm dumb. And then, he like sits on a bunch of benches for like 3 scenes in a row, just sitting there staring. He cannot emote. He cannot perform. Nothing interesting happens. And then he's like, I'm going to choose a memory of me and my wife sitting on a bench before I went off to war. And then the girl's like, why don't you respect my feelings? I love you. And I'm going to choose to remember you. And I'm going to keep you alive in my memories here forever. And then no one will ever leave me because they're alive in my memories here forever. Some crazy shit like that. I have no fucking idea. It's very melodramatic and emphasis on mellow, and it is so fucking boring. Like, nobody emotes at all. It is horrifically fucking boring. It's not that they're just Japanese. Japanese people can act. People of all cultures and races and languages can act. But the people in this movie cannot fucking act. They are not actors. They are so fucking boring. Holy shit. So, the movie blue balls the audience. You wait the whole movie to watch these memories that you've been watching for 1 hour and 30 minutes talked about, thinking that it's going to be this beautiful reimagining of these people's memories. It's going to be this sincere depiction of sympathy and human sincerity. And instead, the scene cuts, you get blue balled, and then begins the actual plot of the movie, which is literally just cuckolding. And it's not even good cuckolding because the writing is inconsistent. The counselor man says that the boring man accepted his wife / his fiance. And in the movie, in the interactions that we see between boring man and the wife / fiance, is that one, he is awkward as all hell and does not like movies, and she likes movies. And then when he is like fucking 75 years old, they're sitting on a park bench, and he tells her that he's finally ready to compromise in their relationship, and he says that they can watch 1 movie a month. 75 fucking years, and she's waited this long to get this kind of like fucking... What the fuck is that? 75 fucking years old, and you're like, okay, wife, I know that you like movies, so we can watch 1 movie a month now that I've been retired for 10 fucking years. And then the counselor guy sees his ex-fiance, who is now this guy's wife, and says that, oh, he accepted her. What the fuck? Abso-fucking-lutely he didn't accept her. There is no evidence in this movie that he accepted her. And so, like, it leads me to believe that the people that rate this movie highly have zero critical thinking skills, because the movie gives you the evidence to know that it's full of shit. So boring man has his memory with wife and dies. The wife has already died and passed on a memory with the counselor man. And then counselor man has a memory of him and his wife, and then he just passes along. And it's just him sitting on a fucking bench for like 19 minutes in the movie. And then we're on counselor in training, who has now become a counselor, and she's just practicing her lines to do her little interviews for the next group of people that come in. New groups of people come in each week. And if you don't pick a memory, then you become a counselor, or you help making the movies for the memories of other people. And the movie just creates all these like potential problems with it, because it's like, what if everyone picks a memory? There's nobody left to like make the memories of the people that come in to like pass along. How do they know that it's just so many stupid things about the movie that just don't make any sense, that just like make the movie fall apart. And also, like, having a single memory for all of non-existence is hell. That is literal torture. I will not be dissuaded from this. This movie is not about sincerity. This movie is not about empathy. This movie is not about the most beautiful depiction of human compassion, because that's 9 Days. The movie 9 Days has the greatest depiction of human compassion I've ever seen put to art, and Afterlife has the greatest depiction of blue balls I've ever seen in my life. I gave it the lowest score possible on Letterboxd, which is like a 0.1, a point whatever out of 10, out of 5. But in actual real life, it's a 0 out of 10. Afterlife is the worst movie ever made. Hirokazu, I believe, is probably the worst director, the worst writer of all time. I've never seen such bad performances. And if you like Afterlife, please tell me what the fuck you like about it, because I'm at a loss here. I mean, other than the sound design was good. I'm not gonna lie, that was good. Everything else was bad. Anyway, yep, that's my take.